Legend of Total War here, and today we've got another Saving Your Disaster campaigns. This time playing as the Drowned, so a Vampire Coast faction, close to Direfin. In Mortal Empire's Legendary difficulty, pretty sure, yep, for Warhammer 2. So the situation's pretty bad. He's just lost all of his forces, doesn't have any armies. Now it looks like he just lost his last army to the Beastmen, and the High Sentinels under siege and has no garrison there. Monument of the Moon is probably not going to hold out for very long, but we'll see what we can do about that. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to actually read the email that he sent to me, just to give you guys a little bit of context, because I think that might help. So just bear with me a moment here. Okay, so some general information. This is a Warhammer 2 campaign of Mortal Empire's Legendary difficulty, playing as the Drowned for once. It's currently pretty deep into the campaign, turn 105, and the situation is basically that I've been deadlocked in combat with Hexawidle for the last 80-90 turns by now. For most of that time, neither side was really able to claim much territory from each other, as we just kept trading armies and 2 to 3 settlements back and forth. But eventually, things started becoming problematic, when Lothan and some other factions decided to join the fun as well. I was able to hold the line for the most part, and I've been in and out of wars with various neighbours over the course of the campaign, but eventually I just ended up getting stretched too thin and having to defend too many fronts, and things started to collapse. And just when I'd finally beaten back Lothan's invasion, by the skin of my teeth, for whatever reason the Beastmen showed up out of nowhere and decided to get involved as well. And they got my last army killed before it was able to replenish, and with Hexawidle still on my doorstep, it's a pretty awkward spot right now. At my peak, I was up to 11 settlements, but now it's down to 3, and another one will surely fall next turn as under siege and the garrison is all but dead. Hexawidle on their own is one thing, but a lot probably depends on how much Lothan wants to get involved from here on out, as they are very strong in this campaign. I had an agent pass by their capital a few turns back, and they literally had 4 stacks all just sitting there recruiting still. Okay, so that's the situation. Now, let's have a look at what advantages he might have, and disadvantages. Now, I'm assuming a lot of the fighting's been taking place here, because this looks like a bloody war zone. Okay, a lot of vampiric corruption, and no real progress. But I also see he's got this settlement over here. Now, this is just saving grace right here, because it's isolated. Now, isolation in Warhammer 2, especially for newer players, is very valuable, because it buys you time. Because if an army comes into your isolated territory and you beat it back, it's going to be a while before they send another one. And time is very valuable in Warhammer 2 because you have plenty of it. There's no time limit to your campaign, and you need time to build up your settlements. You need more time than your enemies, so you want to waste as much of their time as possible. Now, unfortunately, you've invested a fair bit into this province here, which would have been great if we could hold it. And maybe we can, but in all honesty, I don't think it's worth trying. What I'm going to do, based on what I've seen here, is ignore your enemies, because your enemies that you've got here, they don't matter. There's an enemy that you can face that's way more profitable. And when it comes to war, you have to ask yourself what's profitable above all else. Do you want to just loot money? Are you trying to level up your general? Are you looking to get certain traits? Or do you want land? Land for, increasing your income. Now, the Sentinels of Zeti down here, if we go down this way here, it's an isolated area. The only people that can dodge right through here are like dwarves or beastmen or something like that. If we take these settlements here, for one thing, they can't really call in any reinforcements except from in the north. If we move down here fast enough, and even if Hexawidle will come down here and move behind us, but we get down to here and then push back up, you've got a bunch of safe territories that even if you fuck up certain battles up here in the future, at least you could fall back to these settlements and have these provide you with steady, reliable, and safe income. And I think that's what you need more than anything. Pirate coves are great and everything, but we got to get you some settlements, so that's what I'm going to work on. As for these settlements here, there's not really much we can do about it. Now, I know a lot of people have an aversion to cheese, but as a minion of the cheese god, cheese for the cheese throne, playing as a very cheesy faction, we're going to use some cheese, because you're in a shit situation and cheese will get you out of it. It'll get you out of it easily. And if you don't like the armies that I recruit for you, then you can just disband it when you're done and go on and play the campaign as you wish. So, first thing we're going to do is start pulling back your heroes. Pull them back here. I might be able to make use of them. So this one here is of the deeps. And I saw that you had one here. This one's a vampire one, right? What's his skill? Devious. Okay. They don't grab that stuff, do they? No. Is that for Cloistra? Okay. How long until Cloistra's back? 2 turns. You've got another, like a semi-legendary lord there. 2 turns until that one comes back. Okay. So, Spectre Zoom is about to revolt. We're going to turn this into our new capital. What do we got here? Death Street Terrorgeist. What else could we build here? I think that's fine for the time being. Just thinking what to do. Yeah, I think I want this guy here to come back and attach herself to Cloistra. Now, we can't just leave this doing nothing for the time being, so let's recruit a lord. Just anyone will do. And we'll just replace them with Cloistra in 2 turns. Because I'm assuming Cloistra is your highest level general. Based on what I saw there. What, 29 was it? Yeah, highest level general. So that'll be our best chance. Depending on how you've leveled it up, we'll find out soon enough. Okay, so not good what available here. I mean, deck droppers, handguns are okay, I guess. Bats are, I don't like bats. It's not going to do us any use down here. Could use global recruitment, but don't worry about that. Let's raise some dead. Zombie pirate gunnery mob's good, and then just grab some placeholder units which we can replace later. Just to prevent this revolt, or at least delay it. Okay. And then all we have to do is wait. I'm not going to build anything. In fact, got half a mind. Yeah, I'll demolish this because I'm not going to recruit from it. And I'm just going to assume we're going to lose this province. Now, I'm also going to assume that Cloister Direfin's actual ship has been upgraded. Which means you don't actually need barracks everywhere. That's one of the great things about Vampire Coast. The lords can recruit from, well, the legendary ones, the 5 that you can potentially get, you know, the legendary lord and the 4 other legendary admirals can recruit from just themselves. Meaning that you can recruit on the go, raising the dead, or just recruiting from your own ship. You don't need to build these military buildings here, and this will be a good way for us to make it just a little bit of cash, because, I'll be honest, Necrofex spam if possible. Okay? We'll see how we go. That's what I'm aiming for. So we're going to want physical resistance for them. You've already done this one, which will reduce their recruitment time. And cool. Let's so fleet engineer, pirate crew growth. Okay, yep, that's fine. Let's move on. Now there's no way any of them are going to get down here within the next couple of turns, so I don't feel too stressed about this at this stage here.
Should I sing your death song in Drak Eltharin?
Too far away for me to care. Fine, whatever. I mean, you've already got so many wars going on now that one more is not going to matter. And once you've got an army just of Necrofex Colossus spam, there's very few armies that can take you on. And as I said before, I'll get you out of the shit, and if you don't like an army of Necrofex Colossus spam, then disband it and recruit whatever you want. Yeah, we obviously can't save this settlement, so it'd be a waste of time to try. It is a shame though, because there was a fair bit of money coming from there. That will mean that the army that we can recruit probably won't be a full stack. It's fine. So where is the Pirate Cove? Did you build a Pirate Cove here? And if not, why not? How many turns until we can build another one? 10 turns.
Captain! armed and ready. Who the real star is.
Okay, I might actually send you over here, because you'll get there within 10 turns. And as for you, I'm just going to just straight up disband you, because you're just a vampire lord and a hero. And in all honesty, this doesn't concern me, so just bye-bye. I'm sure we can recruit another one, and that'll just save us some cash for the time being. I do want to have one, but I'm pretty sure we can recruit better than level 1. Unless I'm hoping we can. Now, we could demolish this for 2,400. Yeah, I think I'll do that because, like I said, we're just not going to be able to hold it. Even if we can win 1 or 2 battles here, it's just not worth my time for doing that. And no, I'll just leave it for the time being. Who knows? Maybe they'll ignore it for a little while. No, I'm not going to build that because I don't have confidence of being able to handle it. Still got to wait for Cloister to come back. Like I said, you got this here is your saving grace. This is a golden bloody settlement here. This whole territory here. Once you've got that, you will feel so much more at ease. Because it's not about the numbers of settlements. Some settlements are more valuable than others. Some settlements are really not valuable. And being surrounded by your enemies, that's not a valuable position to be in. And you were surrounded by your enemies. And whilst you can beat them, you didn't. So I'm going to give you a better position where you can beat them from. Where they can't surround you. Where they have to come through one way, and whichever way they come through, which is the only one way, they have to come up against a strong army of yours. And that way you'll be able to handle it in a fair fight, so they don't, catch you when you're unaware or something like that. Okay. Let's get her over here now.
Madame Silostre Direfin. Madame Silostre Direfin.
Wow, okay, well she's been built up very nicely. Good. She probably doesn't need that anymore. Good. Very good. Excellent. That's what we want to see. How much are they going to cost us in upkeep? 271. That's not bad. Yep. Okay, cool. Now, heroes. So, I like the vampire ones best. You got a knowledgeable one there. That's good, but I'm also... I think for the army that we're going to recruit, a vampire one would be better. So that was what we had before. We had a devious one, but I'm going to get you a confident one, because this one's going to attach to the army.
Captain,
and the main thing we need him for is Invocation of Nehexbam. Or her. Then, as said, we'll get you out of the shit as quickly as possible. This is why I didn't want to spend too much, because, these aren't cheap. Okay, should we get rid of this crap? No, leave it for now. I mean, they're dirt cheap. And we're not going to be able to get a full stack anyway. It's not going to get any money back off that. So I'll keep that for now. Public order is fine. Now, first thing I'm going to get you to do is have a look down here. If this isn't well defended, we don't need to be a full stack. This should be sufficient. Actually, we can check that out. Well, we know that they don't have walls there, but there could be an army sitting there. So that's the main thing we need to check out. So, you're going to go to Lothland. You're going to create a cove over there. And we're going to make money off it. I guess another thing is that if we demolish this building here, we can get influx of money. So that... Yeah, so that not next turn, but the turn after. Or maybe next turn. Get a few more Colossus. It's going to take us a little while to get it to a full stack. Because we just don't have the funds to just jump straight to it. But if we manage to conquer down this way here. I'm assuming a lot of the settlements are going to be at level 5, so looting or sacking... I'm not going to sack any settlements. Looting these settlements is going to be very valuable. Lots of money to gain. And the reason we're not going to sack them is because we don't want these settlements to get too badly damaged. Every time you sack or loot a settlement or occupy it, always goes down by a level. So if you sack and occupy, it goes down by 2 levels. Loot and occupy just goes down by 1. Unless you're a green skin, but we're not. So let's not talk about that. Mission aborted. Oh well. Speaking of missions, I didn't check it to see if that could have been useful last turn, but well.
You will listen.
Alright, give us some intel down here. Alright, they don't have anything. It's good that Spectre Zuma's got walls. Oh, what the hell is this? This is a damned paladin. Is this one immortal? Yeah. Yeah, get over here. We're not going to be able to afford putting up the pirate cove until it's done. I think we've got a pirate cove somewhere, but I'm not entirely... Okay, there's one. Ziggurat of Dawn and at Skeggy. What have you got? You've got income gained from local settlement income, so that'll get you a little bit. How much from that? 963. And then over here... Probably should have gone with this, because there's a lot more money at Skeggy than at Ziggurat of Dawn. This is just giving 200, and you don't really need. Yeah, get rid of that. We'll go with the other thing. Do you have any more? Let's have a look. Seems like you've done a fair bit of scouting. Pirate Coves. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, that's fine. Actually, you know, for the time being, just leave that, because it's going to cost a fair bit to replace it, and we need to be focusing on our necrofexes, just for the time being. Okay, so with this is a decent army to begin with. We'll start making our way down here once that's recruited. We should be able to afford it based on the upkeep. Okay, all good. And let's move on. They don't even seem to be going for Monument of the Moon. But here's the thing. I know some people are going to be like, oh, but you're sacrificing the capital. Capital doesn't mean shit in this. It doesn't mean shit. Because when someone takes your capital, you just get another capital. Is there a landmark there? No. So what's the value of it? It's just a matter of pride. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride if you want to succeed. And like I said, we probably could have held on to it, but we would have had to fight for it tooth and nail. And I saw Spectre Zuma, I'm just like, you've got such an easy war. Right there. A profitable, easy war that we can just go straight for and just make shitloads of profit. And it will totally get you out of the shit. Or we can stay here and fight tooth and nail for the next 100 turns. Because you're right next to Lothern, they're never gonna stop. They never accept peace. And from here, Lothern's unlikely to even come down this way. And if they do, it's going to take them ages. And every time you whack them back, it's going to take them even longer to get here. Where this is just a stone throw away. So they're on their way here now. I don't think I can demolish anything. But that's okay.
I hunger for blood.
So let's have a look at these as well. let's face it, you are not going down there anytime soon. We're not going to any of these anytime soon. But I'll just leave that for the time being. Yeah. I never really bothered much with the pieces of it. Okay. Now if we upgrade this, it will give us an extra army ability. I guess that's alright. Deathstreak Terrorgeist. Well, these are still better than them. Alright, let's move on. So next turn, we got an army of 15. We can probably still get some Raise the Dead. And then we'll move down south and take Wellspring of Eternity. Start working on this province here. Spectre Zuma might get lost. Might get taken while we're doing that. But we're going to get good settlements down south. I'm sure we can get ourselves another tier 4 settlement. Also, I don't think Spectre Zuma will be lost. But it is possible. I'm not going to leave an army behind to defend it. The other thing with the Vampire Coast as well is that the settlements are valuable, but your army is more valuable. Especially the legendary ones with the ship buildings. You don't need to hold on to any particular city. Now, I'm not going to be able to get you out of any of these wars. Like I said, just get you nice and stable by taking out Sentinels of Zeti. They've got another settlement up here, but I'm not going to worry about that one. Because one thing, when I did a This is Total War campaign as the Last Defenders, one of the best things that made it viable to even do that campaign was the fact that we had a corner of the map. Well, obviously this does melt. I'll be taking that idol, definitely. Okay.
Fury. Time to press, guy. I need an audience.
Now we can recruit some more units, but we really don't need to, so we're not going to. So, 6 turns.
I thirst.
How much would it cost? Well, this one here can't do it, because he must have been the most recent person to do it. Yeah, you have to wait 6 turns now. That's fine. At least you'll be there ready to go. I can't believe how long they're taking to get here. It's fine. I'm sitting here making money out of it. Great. I really don't think these guys are going to put up any sort of a fight. Ah, we're not playing on huge unit scale. As well. Do you know what? That actually makes it even easier for us, because on lower unit scales...
Then I shall see.
Sure, whatever. The 1,000 gold will come in handy. With the lower the unit scale, the stronger beasts become, because there's not a real sense of balancing. And it's largely due to this. When you're dealing with infantry, and you reduce the number of entities in that infantry unit, say from 120 down to 75, you're actually reducing the amount of damage it can deal. But when you've got a single entity, and you just reduce its health by 25% or whatever, but you don't reduce its damage, then you've given it an advantage over infantry. Like I said, the unit scale is just lazily done, not balanced properly. I think the most balanced unit scale is actually on huge. Otherwise, beasts get way too strong. Same with magic, it gets way too strong. Because the magic isn't balanced either. So I think we're on large unit scale. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, so Sentinels of Zeti. Let's have a look at them. We're considered slightly stronger than them. They've got a lot of enemies of their own. They may or may not have an army down here. They got no alliances. No need to call Nagarond in.
I need more drown.
Oh, we don't loot and occupy, do we? Do I want to sack? No, I don't need to sack and occupy. Just occupy will do fine. It's fine. We're here to build up a bit of an empire, which is not really the Vampire Coast way, but you need some settlements. Okay, that'll help with public order. Okay, I'm going to put this down until... we've just got to make sure the public order here will maintain. That's generating some income. I'll leave that be for the time being. We can upgrade this. Let's do that. And Cloister is going to level up. So you went with the reduced upkeep. That's fair enough. Alright, I think we're going to need to go with Rotten Death. If we're going to go with Necrofex, then we should make them as strong as possible. Yeah, we could recruit some more, but I don't think we need to. I think that this army here can handle any full stack that comes down this way, as long as it's only a full stack. So, looking at this province now, yeah, we can sell this, they've maxed out all this stuff. 3 settlements to deal with. Because another thing to consider is that it does take 2 turns to recruit them, and we need to sort of get on with this quickly. But if we leave, let me see, public order might be difficult to maintain, I'm not sure. If we do stay here for an additional turn, public order will get a lot better. We've got the money for it. Maybe I will stay here another turn. I don't think we're in any rush to take it down. Alright, we can get another one. Let's get rid of the deckhand mob. Don't need that. There's Clan Pestilence here as well, but again, I'm not really too concerned about that. Our army would destroy that. So you can just stay there and wait now. Okay, moving on. Okay, they're about to take the capital, and totally fine with it. Also, having Nagorond as an ally can actually be quite helpful considering you're at war with Lothar. Now, if we had a garrison here, we might have actually been able to defend this, but like I said, it'd just be a waste of time, really. Eventually, they would have sent a large enough army to deal with us. Because like I said, I just wasn't willing to dedicate an army there. That settlement, Monument of the Moon, the only value in it was that it's capital. That's it. Which now that we got a new capital, no value to us. You know, if there was an important landmark there, then I would have fought for it, but no value in it. Of course, some trade agreements were dissolved, but we weren't making a hell of a lot from trade. Certainly not enough to pay for whatever army was required to handle Hexawadal. See, as I read that email, right, one thing that told me is that it was in a deadlock with Hexawadal for the better part of the entire campaign. He's been getting nowhere, and you're not going to get anywhere by doing more of the same. I'm not just going to do what he was doing and expect to get a different result. We're going to do things differently. I'm going to give him the tools that he needs to fight this war. Okay, Luther Harkon looks like he's taking on that stuff. That's good. So we're still out of commission for another turn. And income did go down. Oh. Hang on a second. Income went down by quite a lot. 791. So hang on. 500. We're gonna be paying out our ass next turn. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we'll have enough money to get to the next region. And as we continue to conquer down that way, we'll get it. We got to invest in order to invest in our army, and it'll pay us dividends. But we got to get this done. Might even need to sack some of the minor settlements down there. Bring them down to level 1. I mean, it'll only take 1 extra growth to rebuild it. But that extra money might be needed to pay for the troops. It just depends. I certainly don't want to sack the main settlement. If it's a tier 5, it'll likely make enough money to pay for our troops. And then, of course, we need money enough to establish the Pirate Cove at Lothern. That's going to be fairly expensive. But again, that'll pay for quite a few of those units.
My skills increase.
Alright. That's sort of what I was expecting, but we've got enough to get through the next few turns, so we'll be fine. We'll be able to get to Chamber of Visions in the meantime, where there's an army waiting for us, and no walls. Now they do have Stegodons. That looks like that's one of those right armies. It's not recruiting anything, so it's not going to get any bigger than that. It's tough, but we can handle that. We can handle it. Now, public order here is stable now, so that's good. And that'll increase our income by negligible amounts. So we've still got 3 turns there until we can establish the Pirate Cove. Cool. Looking at Chamber of Visions, I'm leaning towards sacking it. Alright, let's move on.
Sing the songs of death.
The end turn times can be a bit of a wait. Especially since we haven't had a single battle yet so far. We'll definitely have one in the next turn, unless they chicken out and run away. Oh, they definitely did not. Okay. Tell me you've got lightning strike.
Need an audience.
Okay, you do. Good. Alright. First things first, we gotta take out this army here. I'm glad I recruited this. Take this one out first, and then this other one over here really shouldn't be that difficult. Now, the great thing about our army is that because we have a vampire wizard, any damage that gets done to us, we can hopefully heal when the enemy's on the run. Because we probably will take damage, which will lead us in good position to attack them in the next fight. Now, as for the infantry, I'm going to keep them in the rear, because for one thing, those guns will be useful to shoot the Stegodons and Carnosaurs. Alright, so let's see how we're going to set up. Set up over here. Alright, let me do it this way then.
Fleet captain.
Oops. No, I definitely don't want to use up any magic because we're going to be relying heavily on her magic. You lot stay behind here as reserve. So he wants to play with 40-minute timers. Okay. Now, I'm fairly sure these guys here are going to wreck those Stegodons before they even get close. Because they're only feral Stegodons as well. It's not like they're, well, regular Stegodons having to fire back. But even so, I think these are actually better than them. We've got this, but it's not going to do very much. Big problem with that is that it's just a big nuisance. They probably should have waited until they're in range, because it's bogged down 3 of my Necrophexes. She's got some good abilities here.
Moving a base.
Nope. So the ideal situation is to, you know, beat them without taking any real damage. Obviously. So far, just no damage done to us, really. Easily repaired. Very good. Don't even have to do anything. Such an easy army to operate. So someone who's not particularly experienced with legendary difficulty would find this very easy to work with. Why isn't it? Okay. Now let's heck it up so that we're at full strength. This is where the smaller unit scale really comes in handy as well, because it's quicker to heal. Doesn't matter if some of them get away. I mean, they did like no damage to us. Alright, this one here is still a little bit damaged, and then... I don't leave anything to chance, might as well get them to max out. There we go. So that should be no damage done to us whatsoever. Absolutely none. And even though we didn't really kill much, just needed them out of the way. And they're not going to recover because we're going to capture the settlement. Yeah.
This plunder is for all.
There we go. Now we're making some plunder. That helps. Now, is he going to come in to assist? Yeah. Now, this time, we are not going to use Lightning Strike. But what if I do? Because that'll be a nuisance to deal with. It's probably best we cut them out. Why risk it? They're not going to recover very much. We'll deal with them in the next fight. Problem is, though, they might double back and go back up the way we came and try to retake one of our settlements. Now, I could temporarily recruit just a small army just to repel them, just raise the dead. But our finances are already a problem, so it's not ideal. But I think we've got a much safer chance of doing it this way by lightning striking. Right. Try and get nice and tight, because that worked out really nicely for us in the previous battle. So did her ability to summon these knights. That was really helpful, because it kept them bogged down for a long time. So we're certainly going to do that again. It doesn't cost anything. We might want to be shooting those but they're getting to it. Yeah, this army's on force march as well. That doesn't do much damage, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, it's going very well. No problems here. Wonder why they come at 57. A weird number. We got 2 of these that are, let's make it 3, that are a little bit damaged. Get them together, we'll get a heck down on them. Battle's almost over though.
We serve the lady!
Captain! From the maelstrom!
Always!
Good, that hit them. So I wanted. So yeah, these guys over here, they don't really matter. They should. Oh, they're just the feral cold ones. Okay. Try to get out of that. Let these guys take him a little bit.
I'll drink soon.
There we go. Battle's over. Let's just get one more Nehek down just for safety. Just in case they have another army that they want to send up here, which I don't think they do, but it doesn't cost us anything to do this, so it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of caution. That's all we really need. They're all dead because they're stuck in a city and they're on force march, so they're doubly dead. Let's just hope that our zone of control is large enough that's actually blocking the other army. Because otherwise I may have to go chase it. Unless I've got enough movement that I can sack and occupy the settlement. And sack the settlement and then take out that army. I'm not sure. I don't think I will have enough movement.
At last, victory!
No, we're good
Take
with
it
finances for now. We'll just occupy. I don't want it to go down too many levels. Okay, they're a little bit blocked. They have to cross a river.
Madame, I lost a dear fan.
Yeah, so that'll be fine.
Join
Alright, now
me.
over here, we've got this. Don't worry about that, we don't need it. Could just go for... Probably gonna need... Yeah, we're gonna need that money. Then we'll focus on public order. Anyway, the rebellion will happen here. Because there will be... Probably be a rebellion. I guess we'll find out. So over here, let's get the walls up.
Plan scheme is discordant.
They might come down here.
No.
They're taking a lot of attrition. Let me just see what I can do here. Assaulting units, nah, it's not going to be worth it. If they go to Spectre Zuma, they'll definitely lose. I don't want to have to backtrack.
Madame,
Yeah, I reckon they'll go
lost
for
a
Wellspring of
dear
Eternity.
fan.
Alright, what do we need here? Yeah, improve that. Although they really showed the Lizardman who's boss there. Good, our guys are a lot better now. What else can we do to improve them? This actually might come in quite handy for you. Worry about that later. It's usually not really worth it. You go up there, it's like 1,000 gold, 1,000 to 5,000 gold. I mean, the upkeep of the agent would cost more than that to go up that way. For that
What
number of
do you
turns.
want, rat man?
Definitely take that. That's a godsend. I can't believe they actually offered that kind of a peace treaty. I didn't even think to even offer them peace. We haven't fought them in battle. I can't believe they offered that. That is a stroke of absolute fortune. This is on legendary difficulty. We're not going to need to do a second episode. I mean, it was a disaster campaign, but it was a very simple solution. You just need to have a... Sometimes just doing more of the same. This is where people get bogged down. They just do the same thing over and over again, right? Oh, I'm in a war. I have to keep fighting this war the same way. I just keep winning battles, winning battles. Sometimes you just got to give up something in order to gain a hell of a lot more. This is working out very nicely going down this way. And it was very obvious to me. It's like, this is prime real estate right here.
I have no Captain.
We don't have that much money coming from that stuff anyway, so... And that'll help us actually establish another cove next turn.
I need more trout!
Very good.
More? Such pure
Good. So that's the end of their primal thing.
power!
Now I reckon that's all of their forces pretty much defeated. Let's have a look at that. Yeah. So we've now got a clear run down this way. Now Sentinels of Zeti doesn't even have walls. It's just not defended at all. This is, like I said, it's just prime real estate. Absolute gold mine coming down here. I'd actually prefer it if a revolt does happen. Do I? We could have taken the settlement this turn, but then we would have lost Chamber of Visions. You know what? Maybe we don't need this province to revolt. Stay there for this turn, get a little bit of public order, and we'll capture that next turn. It's not far to go. What amongst these could you have gotten that might have been a little bit of a better decision? No, I'm pretty happy with what you chose with all this. This was... You did well with that. Right, we don't need to keep this forever. Because it's not making us as much money as it could. But that growth will help this get to tier 5, which will obviously be quite valuable.
Captain!
Yeah, one more turn and then Vampire Cove there. Or Pirate Cove, whatever it is. Moving on. So, Sentinels of Zeti, they are totally screwed now. Actually, there's something I probably could have built to that settlement that we encamped in. Yeah, so here's the thing about Lothern. They're gonna be stuck fighting Nagarons now for a good long while. So you don't need to worry about that. The thing is, they were going after you. Sure, why not? They're going after you because you were close to them. Now we don't have anywhere. We're not close to them. They're not going to go for you. It's just not a good strategic option. They're going to go for Nagaron. You can see over here, Lothern's borders and Nagaron's borders, they're starting to meet. They're going to be putting a lot of their efforts over here. And maybe they'll send an army over here every now and again, but you should be able to swat it aside with what we've got here. Really shouldn't be a problem. The High Elves have a really hard time. I know this from experience because I do well. I play a lot of the High Elves. They have a really hard time against Necrofex Colossus. Even Sisters of Avalorn, arguably the best archer unit in the game, either that or Way Watchers or Stalkers, whichever, the Wood Elf one. They really struggle with Necrofex Colossus. She's so annoying. She seems like a really powerful lord, but she's so fucking annoying. I don't want to risk any of these units getting wiped out. Funny thing is though, like I took this on because I knew that if he kept doing what he was doing, it was a disaster campaign. But like I said, it was a very, very simple solution. And you don't always get that with Warhammer 2. It's usually a case of, oh, great, here comes another 100 battles. Because like with the Dwarf campaign that we did, the Clan Engrid one, there was no easy way out of that. Every decision that I made was difficult. This one was so easy to make. I was just like, hey, there's an untapped gold mine here that's not well defended. I'm gonna take that. And I don't mean that literally. There's no actual gold down here. Alright, we're gonna shoot up here. They're not particularly accurate with this kind of stuff. Okay, stop for a moment. Here's what you do. Just do a little bit of damage here first, just a little bit. So I told him to stop. Okay, then while it's at 44%, yeah, that's good. Everyone focus. Oh, wait till this is done here. If all of them shoot at the same time, these guys won't have any time to get out of the way. They got it. They got out of the way. See, that's what I was hoping to happen. Come over here. Don't want this battle to take too long, it's obviously an easy one. Should have brought Cloister in. That's when he's taking a fair bit of damage. Maybe best get him out. Just trying to get all of them at once. Sometimes you can't. Like, they're not the best in melee, but given the fact they're excellent artillery and decent in melee, that's what makes them so versatile. There we go. Good. A little bit of damage, but we'll recover that in a turn. And all that's left now is a minor settlement. Easy to deal with. So we capture that minor settlement. Make sure the public order here is going to maintain, because I don't want to leave a garrison. And we push it back up to Spectre Zuma. And then that's it. He can push on from there. He's got more settlements than he had before, but even though he had 11 settlements at his peak, this is probably his actual peak, because having 11 shit settlements is not the same as having 5 good settlements.
There are spoils here.
What's good about this is that they can't get to it, so you don't have to worry about your frontier. A small frontier is a valuable frontier.
Madam, I lost a dear fan.
Yeah, should be fine. Alright. Okay, we've almost fixed the budget problems. Okay, that'll help with reducing public order penalties due to lack of corruption. Then we need... I mean, this really here should just focus mostly on money. Probably should build the palisades here just in case. Definitely have that. That'll help as well. I don't think you actually need that. Well, I'll leave that empty and he can build whatever he wants there. No need to fill it up all at once. Public order here is good. Leave it be. Now we are losing infamy because of this, and we don't need to have it. So let's switch it over to that. Help it grow. Still got lack of corruption. This province, building this will help spread corruption into here, and that'll make it better. Yeah, you're probably gonna want to take out that Skaven at some point. You know what? This gemstone building, you're not trading with anyone anyway. Get rid of that. We'll put the corruption building in there because you do need it. At least until you get City of Quintex. Alright. And hopefully we've got enough money to establish the Pirate Cove.
Captain, on deck.
Nope. Alright. We don't have to construct these things this turn. Probably better we get that Pirate Cove done. It's gonna be bloody close. I don't think we'll have enough money to build it. Let's get that established because we've got to get the countdown timer started. Because yeah, it costs 5,000 to do it. Well, looks like we'll have to sack and occupy the Golden Colossus, which sucks because it brings it down to level 1, but you'll be fine. That'll make us enough money on its own, so get this in there. Get that started. Actually, go with that. That'd be probably more helpful for this would be good for the both provinces, so yeah, do that. Just whichever. I don't know why I didn't go for Lothern with the Pirate Cove first. So valuable. Yeah, if you can get it set up. Which, since you've got a 100% success chance on it, then, you know, why not? Another thing that might be quite useful, and I'm not sure if it works with this, is defeating Morathi with multiple heroes, multiple generals. Because Morathi reduces the cost of hero agent actions by, I think, 10% faction-wide. So if you beat her with 10 lords, it might be then free to establish pirate coves. But don't quote me on that, I'm not sure if it applies to that. I mean, technically it is an agent action, but I'm not 100% certain. See, I wouldn't say something is true unless I've actually tested it, and I haven't tested that. Just a suspicion that would be quite valuable. Because that's what I did in my High Elf campaign with my live stream. I defeated Morathi so many times, with so many different lords, that eventually all of my nobles were able to establish secure influence free of charge. Alright. Hopefully we got just enough movement to sack and occupy. If we don't have enough money to sack and occupy, no big deal, but we need the money. Only just enough cash to get the thing. Just not quite. Oh well. So public order is a little bit of a problem. But still, if we look at this, 3,400, but you got to take into account their tax income. You're not going to get that much. Actually, no. It should actually be 3,400. Yeah, 50% of that, minus whatever bonuses they're getting on top of that, with this. So you should be getting about what, 1,950, roughly, from that. It's more than this province. And if that does work, then we'll be getting that return on investment very quickly. Yeah, melee attack for Necrofex, Colossus, magic resistance, and weapon strength. Sounds good. especially for them in melee, which they will, especially in difficult battles, you will be fighting in melee every now and again.
Captain.
So you want to be heading over here for the, magical reserves, arcane conduit, and if you ever need it, Wind of Death. Excellent spell.
Capable, nothing more.
And they wounded your hero too. Oh well. It got what needed to be done. But that's because I think there's a more valuable building. Sometimes, I don't know. Public order is more valuable than money. So let's get a public order up so you don't have to worry about constant revolts. And also, if we build that corruption building, it'll spread into other provinces so you can control them faster. So take out Hexawaddle and then you can deal with Pestilence later. So that's a big increase from our income. Getting that Pyro Cove set up, big increase. Someone got wounded.
Take it for me.
If we had taken it last turn, then could have prevented that. Oh well. So is that going to go? So they've still got a force somewhere. Alright. Decent income. Could get rid of these units here if you really wanted to.
I lost the Direfin.
No, I think we're good here. We're at an hour and 7 minutes. I don't think we need to go any further. This is solid. The only way any enemies are going to come through is down this way, and Hexawaddle hasn't even shown up here. You'd easily be able to get back up there to sort them out. I did demolish your gems, but if you want to rebuild it, that's entirely up to you now that you've got a trade partner. I'd personally recommend going for Dead Pirates Totems. That way you can start spreading corruption over here into neighboring regions, making it easier to conquer them. But apart from that, this is solid. You got the strongest army, almost the strongest army that you can recruit, and you got yourself a good financial base here. Okay, so that's the end of this one here. There's obviously no need for an episode 2. This was, I wasn't expecting it, but this was one of the easiest Warhammer 2 ones I've gotten so far. But I'll see if I can pick a more difficult one next time, because this was definitely in need of saving. But like I've said so many times already, there was just a golden opportunity that just wasn't being utilized. Anyway, that's the end of this one, and we'll see you next time, fuckers.